I've kidnapped the other two people that are supposed to be here. They're tied up in the back. If you hear any screaming or muffled shouts,
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it. Nothing mysterious.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Philly, mind your business.
I'm going to sit right, I guess, well, I'll sit here.
Okay, perfect.
I'll sit here.
Perfect.
So then, yeah, when they get here, we'll make fun of them, right? We'll all
Yes.
tease them and mock them.
We will just point and laugh.
How's it going, Philadelphia? I've never been to Philadelphia.
Never?
Really? Except for now, and I ran the Rocky Steps the other night.
Yes!
I had to do that.
Okay, so when you did it though,
yeah.
Did you have the music playing?
On my head. Oh, it's always playing in your head.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's
playing in my head right now. That was fun. You guys having a good time?
Yes.
Awesome. It is fun to wear your natural clothes, isn't it? Right? It's great to wear what you wish you could wear every day.
Every single
wearing
day.
it today.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Oh, wait. I think it's time.
Someone's late, so let's make fun of them. Let's make fun of them for being late. Come on up. This is D. Bradley Baker, everybody. Come on in. There he is. I will be right back. Hi, D. D took a pee. It's like a Dr. Seuss book.
That needs to be animated now.
Oh man, we have to do that.
We have to
now, one other person is late. Was there any sign of the other person?
I saw no other such person.
All right, it's only the two of us.
We're just gonna keep going. D, have you been to Philadelphia before?
Never.
Never
in my life.
Okay.
So this is the first time you've peed in Philadelphia?
I've never peed in Philadelphia.
Until today?
This is why it's all
wow.
That sounds like a song that Gray would sing. I've never peed in Philadelphia. That's a good song.
I'm gonna need y'all to write some lyrics, and we'll have her sing them.
We're gonna split the royalties.
Okay, you got a piece of that. A piece of that.
Exactly.
So, welcome to Philly. That's number one.
Thank you.
Now, he's done the Rocky Steps. D, have you decided to do the Rocky Steps yet?
What's...
Hey,
Rocky! Is that what
You have to do that as you do the Rocky Steps, yes.
Sylvester Stallone ran up the steps of the iconic.
Oh,
here in
yes.
Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
You have no idea. You know what Rocky is? You know Sylvester
I do.
Stallone?
I am about as far from Rocky as you can get.
Yeah, right.
I have not run the Rocky Steps.
Okay, fair. We'll have to do a supply you with some.
And just so you guys know, Dee did the voice of Elmer the Boyle Kid on the
That's
Family
right.
Oddparents. He did not do the voice of Mr. Crocker, but Mr. Crocker's up there in the picture.
Hey!
Close.
That's Carter.
Hello, Madhu. Something like that. Right. We'll do our best Mr. Crocker.
I love that. Okay, so Fairly Oddparents premieres in 2001. This is one of the most classic cartoons of all time, of the modern era for sure. When it came to what the landscape of Nickelodeon was like, can you give us kind of a headspace? Because cartoons have changed a lot in the presentation over the years, over the decades, over when they came out, when we got to receive them. What was it like to have that new voice, the new millennium, with Fairly Oddparents?
It's funny. It sounds so epic when you put it like that.
It is.
But at the time, you're glad you saw the show and you started making your cartoon. But to kind of give you an impression of where we were at the time, Nickelodeon had just opened a new animation studio in Burbank, California. They had just finished making Ren and Stimpy, Doug, Rugrats, and SpongeBob had just come out. Has anyone ever heard of SpongeBob? It's a cool cartoon. Have you heard of it? I don't know if you've ever.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, he's also on SpongeBob.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I don't know, Mr. Krabs. Anyway, so
I like money.
SpongeBob me Bob. Yes. Anyway, so that was out, and then this little show called Fairly Oddparents was allowed to come and step in. So we were all kind of making these shows in the same building,
Love it.
working our tails off, trying to make something funny and entertaining, and then that came out. I got to make a show called Danny Phantom at the same time. Which was fun too.
I am the box
Yeah. And so you're just really working hard and meeting.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Because I'm genuinely curious, because the show is such a strong stylistic choice.
Yes.
Now, how do you jump out of the gate, arriving at something that is just so defined and specific, and yet extreme and confident in its own thing? That's not. It's like you can't look at that and say, oh, that's like this show, or it's downstream of that.
Right.
It really feels like its own energy and its own thing. And how do you come up with that with your team of writers? Or just on your own? I mean, how do you jump out of the gate like that?
Wow. Dee said so many big words today. That's a great question. That's one of those things where when I started designing the show, when you work in animation as an artist, you get hired on other people's shows. So if you get hired at Disney, you've got to draw like that Disney show. If you get hired at Marvel, you got to draw like that Marvel show. So I've been drawing like other people for so long and having to learn what they do. When I finally was designing my own show, I went, I'm going to draw something I've never drawn before. So I really started trying to design something that didn't look like other things. I think I was able to land on it after a while. And the good thing was, I was able to develop it over a number of years, so it kind of got its own language. Like, okay, you draw these characters like this, which you always do. So it took a little bit of development, but out of the gate, I was just like, I actually consciously thought, I'm going to draw something I've never drawn before. Well, let's see how long I can do it.
To me, there's a really great lesson in that, in that you learn from working on others' projects, but then when you get your shot, then you want to step out and do something that's uniquely of you.
Right.
And that's how you really knock it out of the park, which I must say that I think you really did with this show and with these writers and with this cast.
Well, thank you, too.
Make some noise for that, y'all. Absolutely.
It's a really unique style.
It was a lot of fun with the writing. You mentioned the writing. I remember they came to me, the heads of Nickelodeon, like, do you want to spend all your money on the artwork? We want a great looking show. And I said, well, I want a great looking show too, but I really want to focus on the writing, because if we don't have good stories, no one's going to care. That's right. At all. And I always point to the show, a recent example, well, not so recent, but The Office. I always point to The Office, who's an Office fan out there? But I love The Office, because The Office takes place in the most boring environment of all time. An office, but the characters are so strong, you'll follow those characters anywhere.
Absolutely.
And I knew that if we could, I told my writers, I want these characters, if they're in a white background, I think, is there an emergency of some kind?
Maybe that's a vehicle backing.
Probably that's what it is. I think Gray is here, so when Gray comes in, let's all be quiet, say surprise when she comes in. Like The Office, though, those characters, my mandate was, if these characters are in a white background, I want people to still think they're funny. So we had to write really funny stories, and they're the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great thing too. I think you really pulled off, is to tell and make something that's really outstanding with simpler means. I think back to like Rocky and Bullwinkle, which is a great example of a show, if you're familiar with that, where the writing is really strong.
Oh, it's so great.
And they got great performers, but it's told in a simpler way. It's not like a high budget show at all. But that doesn't matter. What matters is the story and the comedy that's
playing.
Look
how long it's lasted. Too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when things last long too. So.
When it comes to character, Dee, what are some of the things that you look for in terms of how you're building voice? And what was it about the style that Butch set up that really let you find all the characters that you voiced for this show?
Well, when I was brought in, the energy of the show really connected into who I thought I was and how I saw myself, which was like this little kind of overly amped comedic white guy. That's kind of me, just super energized comedic. That's how I saw myself. That was really kind of the limit of what I saw myself, but it really agreed with what kind of I saw my default as when I first came to Los Angeles. And so once you're brought in on a project to audition for it, or maybe they'll try out doing some incidentals, some side characters in that, your job as a voice actor is to come up with something in the moment very quickly and collaboratively that agrees with the tone that the show creator and the writers want, that really sells the gag, it sells the story, it moves it along at the right pace, and it's something that's irresistible, that's delightful and irresistible and just works beautifully. And you don't really have those kind of antenna when you're starting out as a performer. But as you work more and more, both through the long, humiliating process of auditioning and rejection, and then you start to get some work and you get to be around people who are more confident than you, and you see how to present yourself and how to conduct yourself in a session, and then you realize what it is that you need to bring, that you're not showing up just to be obedient and merely to read the words and to regurgitate back what is being fed to you, but you're actually there to get in the ring with your own ideas, put up your dukes, and come up with some fun, good, fresh ideas that then the show creator says, no, yes, no, maybe, yes. And that's kind of how I see my job really in any show, in coming up with a character.
When you get a guy like Dee, who's uber talented, it helps to be talented, number one. But it also helps, number two, remember when someone like Dee comes into, whether it's audition or do a part, his job is to make my life easier. Come in and do the job. I don't have, because we have a couple hours. Hey, great Delisle!
Yes, great Delisle.
Holy, how the...
Remember I said this surprise. Okay.
I landed this morning.
Oh my goodness! And are you so drunk? Are you super drunk? Early in the morning again?
Sitting on ferries all day.
Oh my goodness! Guys, give it up for Great Delisle one more time. She's here. Great Delisle. We were talking about Gray. We're talking about how being a voice actor, your job is to come in and make my life easier, correct?
Yeah.
And to make things fun, because we've worked really hard on these scripts. We only have a couple hours to record, and the last thing we need to do is train somebody when they come in. We want you guys on it, great, come up with ideas, bring something to the table that will not only make our lives easier, maybe make the show better, the script better.
Also, sometimes you don't have, people need a lot of attention. Like
Not you though.
Yeah, but I'm funny. But they'll do their lines. I always say, if they're not giving you any notes, just lay low. Don't say anything, because some people will go, was I good? Was that good for me? And it's like, yes, you're fine. Now we're never going to use you again because you asked like 3 too many questions.
That's an important thing, though, to have confidence in your performance is everything. That's why you are here.
Well, the weird thing is, having confidence, you have to act like you have confidence, because nobody has confidence.
We're only doing this because we're broken.
We're all destroyed human beings, that's why we do it. No, but you really, after a while you get confident, but we're all just kids in there doing our thing, but you're doing it and you're getting paid for it, and you better deliver, because if the show isn't good, they're going to cancel the show, and everyone's unemployed, and you're starting from square one again. So you do your best, and you just really got to work hard, but then once you get there, again, make yourself likable, make yourself, enjoyable. Come up with an idea.
And get along with your other actors. Don't be competitive or weird, because it's such a small world, and after a while they'll start going, this person doesn't like to work with this other person, so we're not going to cast this problem person, because nobody likes them.
That's right.
And then when you come in and you're great, we're like, okay, Dee will knock this out of the park. Bring Dee in, bring Gray in, we know how to bring in. And okay, who else are going to, then it's like, once you get to know people, then they start getting employed because you know them.
Yeah, you want to be a time-saving problem solver.
Yes.
You want to bring good ideas that very quickly work so that you can move on. Because one of the worst things you could do is to slow things down, waste people's time, or drain the energy or good feeling of the collaboration that you got to move along, because you only have so much time in the studio to get it done.
And we're so used to getting along and everything going smoothly that if there's one little pebble in the road, it's like, oh no, that person's never coming back. There was a guy that was really, really good, but really competitive, and he kept, Phil Lamar was in, we were doing the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I know, but he's gonna get mad.
That wasn't my show, I don't care.
Not the show, no, I'm talking about things that he didn't create. It's, Anyway, but this guy, Phil was doing sort of a Picard, Captain Picard, and the guy goes, well, I do a great Picard. And Phil goes, yes, but I've been cast as it, so, and it was just so weird, but I thought, oh, that guy did do a great Picard, and he did all these amazing voices that he's never coming back.
What's the line you hear? It's the, I'll take a crack at that. That's the line.
I feel so bad. There was somebody in our community that was always saying, I'll take a crack at that. I'll take a crack at that while you're doing your voice. And it was sad because when he passed away, it's just terrible. He was very old. But people would go, like every testimonial about him was like, so-and-so and I didn't get along, or, so-and-so and I never saw eye to eye, but it is really sad. And I was like, there's not one nice comment.
Sorry, that's your tombstone. I'll take a crack at that. That's like,
It's so dark. So dark, but so true. If you don't mind, just to keep up with time, can we open it up for the fans to get some questions?
Absolutely.
Guys, we've got microphones over here.
I'm sure there's no questions out there at all.
No, they've been waiting. We
got a Timmy Turner and Vicky back there. Hi, Timmy Turner and Vicky. See you in the back there.
We're going to start on the right side. Hello.
yes, no questions over.
I got a question over here, yes.
Hi there, nice to meet all of you. My name is Dallas. I had the pleasure recently of rewatching the episode of Channel Chasers from
my favorite episode.
You can applaud for that.
Epic.
And I just found myself wondering at the end of the episode, where we all know that after you grow up, you lose all of your memories of your fairies, and if we see that at the end, Timmy basically just becomes his parents. At the end of the show, he's a neglectful father. He doesn't remember anything, even though he's married to Tootie, who
I love him so much, he's not good to me.
So I guess I was just curious. What was it because the need to have his children have the godparents as well? Because I was curious as to why so much character development for Timmy was effectively thrown out.
That's a good question. No, when we did that episode, it was a movie. I blame all the other writers. Yeah. No. What happened with that? We were struggling for an ending of that, and we thought it'd be kind of cool if we see Timmy grown up and married to this girl. Because at that point, I don't think we knew Fairly OddParents was going to get picked up again. So we kind of just needed an ending for the movie. That's sometimes what you'll end up doing is you'll come up with something because you are on a deadline. You got to get these things done. And so we think this is the most creative thing we can do right now because we got it. Like we always say, we have to move on. We got to go do another script after this, or the show's going to end. Because Fairly OddParents was canceled 5 times, and then it kept coming back and back and back. I don't know why we had 5 wrap parties.
Because it's great. That's
why. No, I don't know why they didn't see it. Just to keep. They kept canceling, but anyway, kept coming back. So that was just really an ending we thought was cool at the moment. Now, if I was to do like a whole lore, sort of thing, I'd probably figure it differently. But at the time, that's what we thought was good. Thank you for the question. How about over here?
What's up? So, ironically, my question was going to be if the show was supposed to end after Channel Chasers, but since that was answered, I'll just say my favorite line by Dee in the show is when he's playing a young King Arthur, and he can't see, and so Timmy gives him glass, and he goes, "I can see, I can fight."
Jim, that was it. Give it up for that future voice actor. Do you remember even doing that, Dee?
I don't remember what I had for breakfast.
But I do remember I peed in Philadelphia for the first time. Yes.
Hi, how you doing? I'm Brian Thompson. I'm from Mount Holly, New Jersey. It's great seeing all of you here, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Brian Thompson.
Yes. My question for you is, was there like any real life inspirations for like the main characters like Vicky and Denzel Crocker? Was there anyone like you based it off of in real life?
Vicky was kind of a combination of all the babysitters I ever had. Including step parents. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. And then Mr. Crocker kind of came out of another show I was developing. I was developing another show, and he was this evil teacher in another show in the town of Dimsdale, which was also from another show. So I brought the name Dimsdale and Crocker from the other show because this Fairly OddParents was selling. So I'm like, where can he live? Anyway, Crocker came from Eugene Levy from the movie Splash.
Yes.
Splash?
Yes.
Okay. Because there's a mermaid in the show, and he's a scientist trying to prove she's real. And I'm like, that's really funny. That's why I gave him glasses like Eugene Levy in the movie Splash. He was inspired by Eugene Levy. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I am learning things too.
Aren't you glad you're learning? See, when you drink in the morning, what happens? What you do? You learn. Okay, thank you. Give it up for our friend over there. Over here. Here we go.
Hello. I'm always the last person who needs a microphone. I'm very loud.
You're not last. You're right.
So I don't know if you would know this. This might have been a writer's room decision, but I would definitely regret if I did not ask. So for like 25 years now, I have been wondering about the episode where he wishes that Vicky wasn't evil and the bug comes out, and then Timmy's running around hitting everyone with the net, and they all go, "Timmy, is it Father's Day already?" And I still don't get it, and I'm 30. So do you know the answer?
How long ago was this? 25 years ago?
Something like that.
Dee doesn't remember what he had for breakfast. I don't think I remember that joke. I got to look that up. I'll have to look it up. I'll get back to you.
I was Googling it, and the answer
Is it Father's Day already?
Yeah, it's Father's Day already. Nobody knew, so.
Maybe that was a ritual Dad did on Father's Day all the time. I don't know. To figure that out. But thank you for asking that question.
That's a good one.
Waited 25 years. I'm sorry. Right? Yes.
Hello.
Good morning. My name's Eli. It's great to meet you guys in person. My question is, what is your favorite moment from the characters that you've created that you love or like voiced? Because I know that Dee's done Prince Aragon from The Dragon, and
You got a favorite moment for one of your characters?
I don't remember what I had for breakfast.
He doesn't even remember what he's going to have for lunch. It's fine.
Beautiful Gray.
My favorite is playing Azula in the beach episode where I say, "That's a sharp outfit, Chan. Careful, you could punch through the hull of an Empire-class Fire Nation battleship, leaving thousands to drown at sea because it's so sharp." I'm looking forward to meeting the other Azula at this con. I gotta get pictures.
I mean, Azula is my favorite, so I love it. Thank you.
Was that another show that I didn't create? Is that another show?
There's only 2 that you didn't create.
Everybody applauds for all the others. Anyway,
No, to be fair, the work that you did, Butch, helped give Nickelodeon the standing to have that show.
Yes,
So
thank you.
I got
That's
you.
it.
I got you.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you. All right, there we go.
I think Danny Phantom should have gotten more than 3 seasons.
What's up, people? Thank you, people.
What I really wanted to ask, with the character Poof, with Cosmo being the one that like got pregnant, was that initially always the intent for Cosmo to be pregnant, or were there other ideas that you brainstormed and just said, all right, screw it, Cosmo's going to be pregnant?
Back then, at the time, it was just a joke. Like, it'd be so funny if Cosmo had the baby. And I said, it was like, and everybody thought it was hilarious, and that's really exactly what it was.
And the Pixies are awesome too. I
Thank you. And we had Ben Stein do the voice of the Pixies from Ferris Bueller. Bueller. He's the voice of all the Pixies.
We're Pixies.
We're Pixies. Well, we wanted to have a rival gang of magic characters because the fairies are so colorful and fun, and the Pixies were very corporate and business and gray, and you had to get all the wishes approved, like a triplicate stuff like that. It was pretty fun. Who's the most boring? Ben Stein came and did it, which was really fun. Yes. Thank you. Over here. Great. You said
One thing about Danny Phantom is it's so funny because I contacted the people from Danny Phantom to try to do these concerts, and I already was friends with David on Facebook, but I found Tucker on Instagram, and I was like, hey, we're doing these conventions, would you want to do it? And he's like, Danny Phantom, do people still care about it? And I was like, yes, people super care about it. People dress up like us all the time, and he was like, oh, I'm going to do it. So just look out for your con schedule. We're going to be doing a Danny Phantom reunion.
Would you
Thank you.
Over here.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Dominic. I'm from down in Pottstown. Were there any characters that you aimed for or were offered before you finally got the characters that you are to this day?
On the show.
You know, I will say this, when I was casting the initial pilot of Fairly Oddparents, Gray came in and auditioned for every female character. So I just had to pick which one I wanted to give her, basically, because you were so good. Yeah.
You could have given me all of them, but you didn't.
I could have, I know, I did. Oh, anyway, but Gray is Vicky, and then, the hard part with Fairly Oddparents was we had such a talented cast of people. They could all do 100 voices. So I had 4 or 5 actors, and that was it. And then I'd meet all these other actors over the years going, how come I can't be on your show? It's like, I don't need you on my show. I got 5 amazing actors, and so.
And I want to shout out Mary Kay Bergman, who was the original Timmy. And she was just incredible. She just did so many amazing. She was all the women on South Park. She was the kid in the Iron Giant. She was Daphne on Scooby-Doo, which I ended up taking over. And she was one of my dearest friends. And so anyway.
Yeah, she was the original voice. Yeah, so thank you, man.
Thank you.
Over here.
So my question is kind of similar to that. Season 1 of Fairly Oddparents kind of has like a different tone and energy than the later seasons. So I was curious kind of what the creative process was like after that first season aired, and then at season 2 when it feels a little bit more
like any show at all, when you get your first season, you're just excited to be making your show. But then you got to figure out, how do these characters talk, how do they interact, what story, how long are the scripts? We were writing 25-page scripts, and our scripts are supposed to be 11 pages. Wow. So like, we had to figure everything out. And then by the time season 2 rolls around, you're like, okay, we kind of got our feet under us a little bit. This character does this, this character does that. And you say this, and you say that. So you're kind of getting it all comes down to a rhythm so things can move quickly. So when I give Dee his script, he knows what to say. When I give her script, she knows what to say. So yeah, the energy got different because we figured it out a little bit more. So, and then, but by the time you come into like season 5 or 6, you've only got so much room to service every character. You can't put 30 characters in the show, so people got to go, people got to come. So yeah, that's why energy gets.
How do you keep a show fresh after you have a really successful season out of the gate? It works well, and you've established it, and you get renewed. How do you keep it from getting stale? How do you keep it something that maintains that energy, the creative energy of it?
As the showrunner, it really helps if you're energetic. You have to be the leader. You have to kind of be the point person. I'm not saying I was always the point person, but as because people come and go too. You guys don't know what goes on behind the scenes. You'll see the show on TV, but behind the scenes, there's people that quit. There's people that come in, people that change shows, people that suddenly can't do their work, or some people
there's murders, there's kidnappings,
all those things. Yes. But there's all kinds of things that go on. So you've got to. It's your show. It's your vision. It's your responsibility That's why it says executive producer. That's that thing, that title that you want so bad, but then you get it, and it's like, wow, everyone's going home, and I'm still here at 10 o'clock at night. You know, you've got to do the work. And
So
that's
executive producer means all his fault.
Exactly.
Is that Latin? Is that what that is?
Latin is a Latin term. Yes. Over here, yes.
I have a question that kind of relates to both Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom. Like, I read in an article that that there was supposed to be a fourth season of Danny Phantom, but it was combined with the third season to like make a satisfying ending. Did the popularity and more importantly, money-making potential of Fairly Odd Parents like contribute to that in any way? Or
Well, the thing about combining a third and fourth season is incorrect. That was never true. We would have totally made a fourth season. When they were going to end Danny Phantom, I'm like, I want to write the last episode, because they actually alerted us it was going to end, so I wrote the last episode, Phantom Planet, the hour-long that we did. But then Fairly Odd Parents was just doing so well, they kept making that, and so it was really SpongeBob and Fairly Odd for a long, long time on Nickelodeon, which was very cool, actually, for us. But yeah, that would just, I called Fairly Odd Parents the train that kept running, and other shows would hop onto it, you know, like I would do Danny Phantom, and that would end it. It did Tough Puppy, and that ended it. So, but Fairly Odd Parents ran, seriously guys, new episodes for 18 years. Wow. Which was amazing. So yeah, we were very blessed. Very grateful. Thank you. Over here.
What's going on, guys?
What is going on, D?
No,
you peed in Philly. We know that's what's going on.
That's right.
But I have more of a opinion question. We've been shown many examples throughout Fairly Odd Parents of Elmer not being 100% in control and his Boyle kind of taking over at times. What do you think the percentage of that control is? Is it like 60 Elmer, 40 the Boyle? Can it change as he gets older?
This is the best question we've gotten all morning. D, I leave it to you.
I love that we're getting granular.
That's right.
You want to know percentages.
It's kept me up at night, man.
Percentages. Well, I'll give the Boyle. You know, when Elmer wakes up in the morning, it's like the Boyle's at like 28%, and then midday, if he's had a lot of sugar, then the Boyle is going to be up to 68%. And if he's up past bedtime, then the Boyle takes over.
Kind of like Gremlins, like an evil actor.
We're up to like 95%.
We need to do a graphic novel with this. Like a graphic novel of the Boyle.
That's a really weird question.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I do got to warn the room, we're into like the last 5 minutes, so we'll see how many we can get through. If we don't get to your question, come upstairs, go see these guys, ask your questions at the booth, all right?
We're all in the
And
same
everybody
line.
follow me on Spotify. If you follow me on Spotify and show me that you're following me on Spotify, I'll give you a special little treat.
There
And
you
you
go.
guys, I got some new courses coming out. Teach all about storytelling. So go to butchhartman.net. Okay, yes.
Hello.
I'm not a member of Spotify, but I'm always pumping Spotify because that's the only way we can get seen. It sucks. Anyway.
Yes.
For our voice actors, have you been inspired by friends or relatives in your roles, and have you been caught in the act?
Ooh. Have any friends or relatives been the inspiration for your roles, and have they called you out like?
I play a lot of characters on the Loud House, and the acting teacher, Mrs. Bernardo, talks like this, and she's very dramatic, and she's based completely on my drama teacher from college, Gail Fury Child, who's still very much alive and did give me a knowing look at the reunion.
So she called you out.
Yeah.
She liked it though.
You got busted. I love that. Okay. One last, probably maybe one or two last. Yes.
Hey, Mr. Hartman.
Hi.
Okay, I just...
Mr. Hartman. How about
I know. I have to be formal somehow. But
Thank
anyways,
you. I appreciate it.
Very nice meeting you, but I do have a very, very granular question like the last guy ahead of me.
We have nothing but time, so let's get into it.
I'm glad you set that up.
Okay.
Because
Out of all the characters that you have made... Oh, hold on, let me just record this. How many people have you put to the metaphorical blade? How many people have you put to the metaphorical blade as in, like, fictional characters?
I didn't know there was a metaphorical blade.
I mean, how many fictional
So
characters
hairy,
have
and then I got
Yes.
the metaphorical blade.
Gosh, you know, I think the Crimson Chin was kind of a metaphor for all superheroes that I've seen, you know, with the giant jutting chin. I guess is that what you're talking about?
I think so.
That
yeah.
sort of thing? Yeah. I think everything's kind of based on stuff I've seen in my life. You know, like when I was a kid, I always wanted to go into a comic book. So like one of Timmy's first wishes was going into a comic book.
80s or 90s?
Oh, 70s. I'm that old. I'm talking about 70s. Yeah.
You look very younger in person.
Thank you. It's the lighting.
See?
We pay extra for that.
Mr. Hartman, now telling you how young you are.
Yeah.
You've got a job, sir.
You're hired. Yes, thank you. One more question over here.
So, my name is Sagar. I just want to say thank you for making my childhood with all the cartoons you've done. And my question...
Absolutely.
And I just want to say, tell me the process of how you made the Timmy and Jimmy Neutron studios. How did you make that work? Tell me how. You have to know.
Really quick, we were working in the same building. Jimmy Neutron team here, Fairly Oddparents team here. We're getting coffee one day. We're like, what are we, idiots? We need to make a show together. We both have 10-year-old boys as leads. One's named Jimmy, one's named Timmy. One does science, one does magic. We are idiots. We need to make this happen. Yeah, so we sat down, we wrote it up and pitched it, and they loved it. So, and it was one of the highest rated shows on Nickelodeon, by the way.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Billy, I apologize that we have run out of time, but again, come upstairs, come see these guys, have all the fun this weekend. One more time, let's make some noise, show some love on this Billy Hartman and D. Bradley Baker!
I don't have to pee anymore.